I'm Oz.
And I'm Tom.
And we're here hosting our summer sipping series for Wine Alive.
Yes, we are. We're here at the Pythouse Kitchen Garden in Wiltshire. And today we are tasting Bijou wines.
What does Bijou mean?
It's a word you use to describe sort of nice, fancy homewares, kind of, interesting vibe stuff. I don't know.
GCSE French, I think not.
I got a D.
Means you got a D.
I got a D in French.
I mean, the D in French means you only do French words of one syllable. Bijou is two syllables.
Exactly.
The English word of bijou is jewel.
Jewel. There you go.
Now, that's actually good for this, isn't it?
It describes it perfectly. There are a great range of wines, and focused on the Languedoc. We're down in far southwest France, aren't we? Which is just, I know for both
Best
of us.
part of France. I love it. What I think about this part of France is that you come down the Rhone Valley and you've got a decision to make at the bottom of the Rhone Valley where it hits the Mediterranean. If you turn left over to the east, you go to Provence, you go to Nice and to Cannes and Antibes and Monte Carlo and all that glitz and glamour. You can do that if you want.
Yeah,
but if you go
Speedos,
west, if you go to the right, you go to what to me is the true heart of southern France, where the wind blows stronger, where the sun beats brighter, where everything is rougher and more savage and more brilliant. And the mountains, because we're coming down to the mountains. The mountains that you get to as you head down towards the Spanish border, some of the greatest mountains in Europe.
I agree. So best food culture, it's a big statement, but the best food culture in the world, and I will hear no further arguments on this, happens on either side of the Pyrenees. It's that incredible Basque food scene, the best cheeses, the best charcuterie, the best, wild boar, all of these things.
Stews, cassoulet.
Exactly. Low populous, rugged stuff. We're talking about a land of rocky outcrops, Mediterranean climates, Mediterranean sea breezes, high altitude vineyards, low-lying bits with loads of verdant green lushness, berets. It's really rugged, isn't it? Super rugged.
I've gone on roads in the Corbière region, which is this kind of area.
This is it.
Fabulous mountains, gorges, as steep as any in Europe, and roads about the size of this table.
Yeah.
And there you are thinking, I'm in my car, I've got another 10 kilometres to go before the end of this road. If anything comes the other way, if a bicycle came the other way, it couldn't get past.
That's it. And the axles moving, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What a beautiful place to be. And this is for thousands of years the heartland of French winemaking. You've got Bordeaux just up that way. You've got the rest of Provence, and you've got amazing Rhone going up that way, sort of thing.
Things like Châteauneuf-du-Pape, not very far north.
Exactly. But this is the industrial powerhouse of France's winemaking landscape. For thousands of years, it's been high quality, terroir focused. And in our lifetimes, our drinking experience and kind of, the narrative around the area of the Languedoc nowadays is that it's volume. As France began industrializing 150, 200 years ago, they needed something for workers at the end of a long day to have a sip of, something to drink in Parisian bistros, that sort of thing, by the carafe. And the Languedoc picked up the helm because it's hot, it's warm, it's verdant. You can make great volume, great wines.
It was the railways.
Once
the railways go, all those guys in factories all over the north of France, and I'm sure in Belgium and Holland and everywhere else as well. They got the cheapest wine they could, and of course the railways brought it up from the south of France. And unfortunately, it did give the Languedoc region, the Languedoc, the Midi, this whole area down here, a reputation for poor wine and lots of it. That is so wrong, though. So wrong.
Bijou, amongst other great producers, part of a big collective of amazing producers doing it, are focusing on terroir-driven, excellent, just delicious drinking wine. So let's talk about this. We've got a Chardonnay.
This is a classic example.
Éminence.
A Chardonnay. Éminence. Éminence.
Yeah.
What does Éminence mean in English?
She was my French teacher. She was.
And you only got a D. So
only got a D.
You weren't concentrating on the language, were you? Chardonnay is a cool climate grape. You don't want really hot, sunny conditions to make good Chardonnay. And you think, well, surely it's going to be too hot down in the south on the Mediterranean. Yes, some of the south of France is going to be too hot. But if you head over towards the Spanish border, you suddenly see the mountains beginning to rise on the horizon, and you keep on driving and you start climbing up the mountains. And two things happen. Firstly, you go higher it gets colder. Secondly, the soil changes, and it changes to limestone.
Loads of limestone. You've got clay bits, you've got loads of limestone, calcareous stuff going on, which Chardonnay loves.
Chardonnay loves it, and the reason is because limestone creates acid juice. Even in hot conditions, the acid in the juice stays there. And of course you say, I don't want acid wine. Yes, we do. Without acid, any fruit, any apple, any plum, any peach, any pear would taste flat. It's the same with wine. You've got to keep the acid, and by God, this one does.
It is beautifully balanced. So this is Chardonnay that, as Oz has said, it's not at the wide end of the spectrum. It's not rich, it's not melony, it's not massive, and it's not oaky. That's the other crucial thing here. Chardonnay is quite a neutral grape. It's orchard fruits, it's citruses. This is gently pithy, citrus peels. It's light-bodied in the sense that it's got this freshness and this mouth-watering acidity. I'm enjoying it in the orchard just as it is. But it's got enough tension, enough structure, enough width to it that with white fish or oysters, shellfish, things like that would be just dreamy. Really good.
That pithy thing that you mentioned, Tom, absolutely pithy. You know, when you're eating grapefruits or oranges or lemons and a little bit of the pith gets caught up with the fruit and it gives a slight bitter tang in the mouth and it just changes the texture. This has got it.
Yeah. These are great wines of texture. Absolutely love it. Very much food friendly, perfect summer sipping Chard. Great value. We like it a lot.
And
Éminence?
these guys, Bijou, they're a really good operation. They basically, as Chris, the guy in charge of it, he says, I pay more for my grapes, I can give more in the wine. And this really shows here. These aren't cheap grapes that have gone into this. And he's also very keen on sustainability. He does, by the way, he does wine pouches. Have you seen those?
Do you know what? I have seen the wine pouches. I've actually had a wine pouch at a festival. It was good. It was really good.
80% reduction in carbon dioxide emissions. So he's involved in all that kind of stuff.
Cans as well. So it's a very modern, forward-looking outfit, and they're making wines of place. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's what he says. Look for the more difficult places. He's got one wine from a place called Cabrières. Oh,
yeah.
So cool. That is what you learn
in the circus.
That's what you were doing in your French GCSE classes with Éminence, isn't it?
Exactly. Tossing bottles around.
I'll let that pass. You were juggling.
I was juggling, wasn't
Juggling
I?
bottles.
I was juggling.
All right, well, that's really good. I like that.
We've talked about pouches. We've talked about their cans, alternative formats. What I love about Bijou, and I would say the benchmark, the kind of the founding stone of Bijou, when you see it out there, is it's going to be Rosé. And these are not Provence Rosés, but they are dressed in the style that we've associated over the last decade with Provence. These make me feel like a swimsuit model. They get you all excited. It's a lifestyle brand, the whole Provence Rosé style thing. And Bijou do that in spades. But, as we're about to discover, because it's from round the corner, it's warmer regions. This is Coteaux de Béziers. You've just got a little bit more flavour, a little bit more bright fruit to it, character to them. I love them. Come on.
Colour-wise, this is the colour of Provence. And if you just had that in your glass, you say, oh, that's Provence Rosé. The difference will be that Provence Rosés are that much more expensive. You're paying for the word Provence. And in the Languedoc, you're not paying for the name. Coteaux de Béziers, this comes from. Well, who's heard of the Coteaux de Béziers? I know where it is because it's an area just down towards the place called the Étang, which is the sea, the salt lagoon of Thau. Two things. It's very close to a place called Cap d'Agde, where there is a naturist colony, which I'm afraid I did actually once or twice visit. Not with any great enthusiasm, I can assure you.
How do you attend a naturist event without any? I think if you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound.
You go there and you realise I'm suddenly not as enthusiastic about this as I thought I was. But B, they have amazing oysters in this lagoon, and this goes back to, you mentioned oysters for the Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Well, what about oysters with this?
All about it.
Because it actually has got it's got sort of as much flavour as a white wine, hasn't it? It's subtly different. Actually, I'll tell you one thing also about this. Some of the grapes that they use in this are actually white, not red.
Yeah.
And the white grapes they use are from a really good variety called Rolle, which is a tasty. It's possibly the best of the southern French white varieties, and they've got some of this in this.
This is about it's about Cinsault local grapes. There's a bit of Syrah, which gives it a bit more spice, a bit more depth. There's very, very, very good Grenache in there. There's Languedoc, other local grape variety to be seen in there, giving it colour, giving it texture. And so, but all of those are treated very gently, very light skin contact. It's less big, bold red berry fruits and things. It's way more tangerine peel. It's way more juicy citruses, and there's this lovely kind of, again, pithy bite to it.
Blood orange.
Bit of blood orange, yes, please.
That's another good point. Languedoc, you see. Another thing that Bijou do is they promote these grape varieties that you haven't really heard of. Languedoc is an invented grape variety, but it's really good. It's invented down in the south. They're for use in the south to produce extra flavour, extra colour in vineyards which were producing wines before without much flavour, without much colour. So just 10 or 15% in a wine like that makes all the difference.
Talk to me about Sophie Valrose.
Oh, Sophie Valrose.
I believe you knew her personally.
That was my French teacher. Interesting that, because another of the things that Bijou do is they support women's causes a lot. They supported the Women in Wine Expo in Portugal a year or two ago, for instance. And Sophie Valrose, they said she is an archetype of the kind of woman who used to work in the vineyards in the 19th century, and there were tens of thousands of them bending over, cutting and pruning and picking the grapes. People whose entire life went by without being thanked once. And Bijou said, well, we'll thank them. We'll call one of our wines Sophie Valrose to just say thank you to the women who gave so much time and effort and were never thanked 150 years ago.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
That was so beautiful and so sincere, and it's such an important thing. And but you did say bending over with such enthusiasm.
Well, that's because I wasn't thinking what I was saying, Tom.
But I love it, Os. It's amazing, and you're absolutely right. And so it's showcasing women in wine. They're working with amazing causes, and the wine world is fantastic for being supportive, and it is this incredibly diverse, rich thing. And so I absolutely love it. But I know I couldn't help but chuckle. It was very funny. Bless you.
I haven't got over your French teacher yet.
Well, no.
Oh, so I'll rephrase. Oh, I won't. I won't. Let's move on.
Let's go. Bijou Éminence. So this is Bijou de Éminence or Éminence de Bijou, and this is a rosé in a similar vein.
Yes, but different.
It's different, isn't it?
Look, the colour different for a start.
Yeah.
Do you see how the colour? That's very much a Provence colour, pale coral pink. This is less fresh. It's sort of more serious, and it smells more serious.
I absolutely love it.
Now, this partly will be because they've got some of this white variety I was talking about, the roll variety, but there's more to it than that, isn't there?
There is. This is focusing on Grenache. So this has got loads more Grenache, a bit of Cinsault is back in there, but a bit of roll in there. And roll gives it tropical, so it gives it brightness, it gives it lift, it's got a little kind of extra energy to it because of that, hasn't it?
But do you think that it's because some of this has actually, some of the Grenache has been fermented in a barrel, and as soon as you put wine into a wooden barrel, it starts drawing out creamier flavours, fudgier flavours, richer, thicker flavours in the mouth?
I'm with you, 100. This is innuendo central. How am I supposed to do
I'm
this?
just chatting about wine, Tom.
Outrageous. It does. It's got much more texture, much more body to it. There's a sort of there's a gentle, and it's not sweet, but there's a little toffee character. The wood in here is gently sweet, and I think what that does is it just gives it a formality, a bit of extra kind of, I suppose sort of consideration. It's a wine to sort of sit with. It's a wine to sort of, be with your thoughts within. Whereas the Bijou in the Sophie Valrose is fresh, is easy drinking, is sitting in the sunshine in the garden. This is just more significant, more sincere, more kind of it's serious. It's lovely.
Yeah, that really one is sort of bigger glass, fuller, and empty the glass quicker.
Yeah.
This one, actually, equally big glass, equally full, but empty it slower.
But do it slower.
More contemplative.
More contemplative. That's what I was saying.
That's a stand up and dance and jump about rosé. Yeah. This is a sit down in a deck chair or in whatever chair they have. Oh, I tell you what, in a what are these things called?
Hammocks.
In a hammock.
Get yourself in a hammock.
General idea, don't drink in a hammock, but if you are in a hammock, this would be perfect. Gently going like this in a
agree.
hammock, thinking about life.
Bit of chalk stream trout, that's what I'm after. I've just had some for lunch, and this alongside a gently oily fish with a bit of that lovely kind of texture and body to it. Amazing food pairing wine. You know, roast yourself a whole, you know, side of salmon. Go for it. You know, this would be a dream pairing. Jersey Royal potatoes, herbs. It's sort of screaming out for a bit of gastronomy, a little bit of food with it.
And there's me saying, no, with me, I'll just lie in my hammock and think about life. Food can come later.
Bijou, we love it.
Good stuff.
Cheers.
This is just one of our Wine Alive Summer Sipping Series videos with me, Oz Clarke, and with my mate, Tom Surgey. If you'd like to know more about the wines we've tasted, head over to our blog at wine-alive.com and check out our other videos. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and we hope you sip splendidly this summer.